I will convert you all eventually. Just you wait. You will learn the infinite majesty that is the bow. Do you people see what I'm doing with bows out there? No? Nobody likes bows? Okay. My dreams of a hashtag bow gang will remain unfulfilled. Hashtag bow gang. We gotta get the hashtag in there so they can follow us on social media. Different world here. Hashtag or CD.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, anybody can make them. They're easily recognizable and transmit a large amount of information in a simple image. I mean, if gangs used to mark their territories with certain graffiti that said a name or a word or a... Don't you have that freedom on Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag Trump's war on distraction. It was trending to...
War on distraction.
Was trending today with 27.7 thousand tweets.
Wow.
So that's what I mean. Like, somebody felt some type of way and just spray painted that right on the wall of the internet. And now everybody's taking pictures of it and curating it like a Banksy.
Oh, jeez.
I'm flying. I hate that. Like, when you're carrying the arc soul and then things, like, I'm not supposed to dunk the beast. Dunk this beast! They're beating on me! Did you see that? I'm trying to put the thing... I'm trying to put the arc charge away. And, like, there's, like, 3 scions, a legionary, a phalanx, and they're just all taking turns beating me in the head. Okay, can I just deposit the soul?
Whoa.
Don't think the soul is safe with me just because I'm black. That's racist. I can die. Don't do that. That's funny.
The soul is not safe with you?
I mean, it isn't. It is not a foolproof strategy. Okay, it's like, oh, we got it. No, I heard they have a soul. In safe hands now.
I got the
Let's focus on the ad. He's got the soul. No. Alright. I put my Titan butt flap on one leg at a time, just like everybody else. I still maintain that the symmetry should have gotten. I like the symmetry. I would have loved for the exotic perk to be a little bit different though. Boo, do you know how symmetry works?
Yeah.
How does it work, Boo? Explain it to the people at home.
Well, it has 2 settings. You have it set so that it either fires these little arc shot, like laser shots that take out a shield. So if you have an enemy that has shields, oh, they got me. If you have an enemy that has shields, you want to use the little arc thing first, and then you press and hold the reload button, and then it switches to like a more standard scout rifle type of firing cadence.
So tell me, Krabby, have you experimented with it since that first day we went over it? Because I feel like that's the conclusion we came up with then. I can tell you more about it. Would you like to hear these things? Yes!
I've been using it.
Fine. Well, also, those little things are basically like arc souls. Precision kills is how you get dynamic charge.
If you hadn't forced its collapse, they would have
You're
caused
breaking
permanent
up
damage.
The gun has a perk called Dynamic Charge, where getting precision hits in the scout rifle mode power up the arc souls later on. You can stack it up to 15.
Oh, that's
You can
cool.
stack it up to 15 in a charge. The 15 is the damage multiplier, and when you switch to the arc soul mode while you have Dynamic Charge active, that starts something called Revolution. And Revolution basically powers up every single arc shot that you fire out of the gun. The arc souls are bigger, they do more damage, and the tracking is better on them.
If the Red
Oh,
Legion's
that's cool.
players tap
I did
into
not
the
know
Yeah, so
that.
the
network,
rhythm is really to
there
go
is
into
no
scout
telling
rifle mode,
what probably
get a bunch of precision kills, and build up dynamic charge.
access
And then when things start getting really hairy, switch to arc mode, and then you've got a bunch of little heat seekers coming out of your gun. So yeah, you can use it to disrupt shield. If you know what I'm. Oh no, you're dead. Shoulders, activate people. But I'm the best Titan. But are you a different Titan and the same subclass?
What?
The fuck does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
What does that mean?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Guardian down.
Ah!
Oh man. That improv group would love us. That man who knocks thing was very spur of the moment.
That was fun. I think that's something we should do. We should do some.
Didn't say a big thing.
You know, I had a very, very lengthy day, so I'm sorry about that.
Thumbnails, sure. I still like making thumbnails, but from now on, the description on every post promoting the stream is just gonna be DLive. That's all I'm gonna write. No hashtags, no sizzle, no ats. Nope. I'm just gonna write Durplant.
No,
I'm gonna write Durplant in the description.
You're gonna write
Post a
Durplant.
picture, and that's it. Yup. Durplant. Not like you're reading it. Okay.
I might notice Durplant though.
And that is the sad part, man. It took me 5 minutes to get that speech. Yeah, it took like 5. There's a lot of parts of that I forgot. Although I would like at least a back pat for that whole headbutting a Kel back into the public event RNG. I feel like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, you sound so convincing that I do not doubt.
So, was that the same video?
Yes. Wow. Can you transmit? Hold on. Siri, can you transmit bytes through the internet?
I found this on the web.
What?
You found this working with BYTES. Thanks, Siri. All right. Bytes. BYTES. Ah. That's what I love more than technology. I mean, technically, Siri's not wrong.
Jesus.
Siri, what do I need to chomp them cheeks through the interwebs?
I don't have an opinion on that.
Trump them cheeks.
What do you mean you don't have an opinion? What?
Siri doesn't have an opinion on that. I heard that.
You know, Sarah Connor warned us about this.
For years in the forest, I chased
She told us and she turned on us.
I
And nobody listened.
touched the
And
ancient
now look at this.
traveler. Did not
You
know
don't have an
as I
opinion?
approached. It drifted ever farther from
Nope.
my grasp.
Oh no, Siri.
But
She
here,
does not have an opinion on that.
to look up and see nothing.
Oh my
This
gosh.
must be how the fallen
what?
felt.
Siri, is nostalgia critics the wall? Why aliens won't visit
Sorry,
us?
I couldn't quite hear you.
What? Inquire 911. Siri, is nostalgia critics?
That's a valid question.
Because, like I said to my friend, I showed you that comment I left him, right? He left that the man in the DeLorean comment. It's like, listen, every day,
The man in the DeLorean.
every day, okay, Galactic Wikipedia gets updated, and then somebody just looks at it at the wrong
Players
time,
will not stop unless we stop them.
and that's why they're like, is this to visit Earth yet? It's like, no, man, I just
Boys have everything in reach.
yeah, it's like they're fighting over the black goo. Yeah, like in Prometheus. Yeah. It's still not time.
Like from they've got the
I
black.
mean, at the end of the day, dear, isn't it always about the black goo? It has been since 2001.
What?
This war beast is really giving chase, and I feel bad for it. 'Cause, I mean, it's a war.
Yeah.
They didn't ask for this life. War beasts are like the Rottweilers of Cabal. Who recruited them? Did the war beasts sign up voluntarily? Do they believe in the Cabal way of life? Do they know
doubt
anything
it.
about growing fat from strength? Animal abuse. I demand one as a pet. I always thought that was weird. The ghosts never got more customization than just a shell. The stuff we're
Yeah.
doing with the
Well,
artifact.
at one point or the other. Yeah. At one, yeah, actually, the stuff that we're doing with the artifact, the stuff I thought they would add to like the ghost.
Yeah. I mean, you get buffs off the ghost, but I had always thought that it would be a supplement to it because the ghost uses the light in a very different way than the guardian.
Yeah.
Do you think like I feel like that's levels of depth that are definitely more suitable. I guess. Because imagine if all this scuttlement and all of these divisions in morality that are popping up, like these little rifts in morality that seem to be popping up all over the world of Destiny. Imagine that
Mercury is a dangerous
if
place.
you
and
actually
yet
do
for
get the
me,
choice
it
to
has
side
been
with either the light or
a
the dark,
space of learning.
that would
library.
dramatically affect the
I
way
was
your
not
ghost behaves.
prepared to feel so protective of such a
So the
vicious
ghost
place.
would be more like a beacon for whatever, whatever power you choose to assimilate. So maybe that would be a good reason to have the ghost be like, more integral to your growth. You're a dark ghost. Like say like if you have a light ghost, like say you get revived, So you can get revived by teammates or you leave rifts or whatever, and like say if you're a dark guardian or something, say you can self-revive, but it'll cost you your super. Something like that. Like dark guardians would have like weird arcane and powers that one would consider unnatural. Can you believe they took the same line from Revenge of the Sith? Verbatim. Yeah, I would really like that. Like the Guardian wielding the darkness. What does that look like?
I don't know that's. I don't know. I think it goes against
Okay.
the very idea of being a guardian.
Well, the darkness does corrupt what it touches, right? I wouldn't assume that you do it voluntarily. Like you'd have to like corrupt your ghost. You know what I mean? Like You'd have to do
Right.
something terrible to it to go to that side. It's not something that you would naturally do.
Right. Um. It so did you? I think
Let's
you
get out
were
of this
there.
thing.
Yeah, we did it together when we.
Mm-hmm.
All
It's
right.
just gonna boot us in 70 seconds. So
Should
if you
we?
want to go to orbit, or did you get the
Should
quest? Let's go to
I
Saint.
did? Should we again?
Yes,
What is?
yes.
What is?
Should we complete the
Okay.
quest? Yes.
No, I mean. Oh yeah, it says go to Saint. Okay. So what I was gonna say is when you find Toland's ghost, like his ghost is crazy, just like
Excuse me.
bless you.
I was out this morning. I had on 2 sweatshirts, and it was not enough. I hope I didn't catch a thing, but fingers crossed. I feel
Yeah.
right. Anyway, his ghost is
No,
crazy.
you can only catch chicken from bacteria.
Oh,
Yeah, his ghost
they
is
were cold
crazy.
bacteria. You know, being cold lowers your defenses because germs thrive in the cold. Maybe I caught some Brooklyn creature. No. Anyway, yeah. So, did Toland's ghost remain a ghost even after he was turned into a ball of light? Because if so, his ghost is a dick. Put his body back together, bro. What are you doing? He's clearly still here.
No, his ghost is dead. But when you do, yeah, because his entire everything. So do you know what happened to Toland?
Yeah,
No, right?
Eris's
So what
fire
happened
team,
with Toland is, yeah. So Toland, he actually was in there. He was not doing what everybody else was doing. He was trying to gain deeper
So it's
knowledge
just Erison escaping.
of the hive. Well, no, that was actually his goal. His goal was to gain more knowledge of the hive. That's why he was there. So when they went into the Hellmouth, the way he died is he found Hashladun, and Hashladun sang her death song. And when you hear a death song, it pretty much destroys your body. It kills you in every possible way. It kills your yes, it kills you in a very specific way. That song is like summoning death itself. So he really wanted to hear it though, because he was like, oh my god, these hive secrets, yo. So he heard the song, and his entire body was destroyed, and by extension, his ghost. But when you find his ghost is like, oh, well, you call him the Shattered. I only wish that I could be there as he shows you all, or something like that. Like, but the way he says it is like he's as crazy as Toland. So my point here is that Toland believed that he could connect with the hive in this way, and he followed it. He followed that path, and his ghost believed it too. If anything, his ghost should have been like, actually,
Yeah.
that's they kind of worship the darkness, so maybe not. But his ghost was there for it, like 100%. Ooh.
Wow.
So I don't know. We already know kind of what I don't know. I don't know that having darkness guardians is really. I mean, it would be interesting from a gameplay perspective, but you know how after Destiny 1, had all this like we were all really into a lot of the stuff that was happening in Destiny 1, and then in Destiny 2 they kind of took away all the complexity, like vanilla Destiny 2,
Mm-hmm.
and tried to be like, oh, the darkest are the lightest our savior, whatever. It took away all the grim dark stuff and um and kind of sanitized it for vanilla Destiny. I feel like it would be similar, right? Because we've gone down this path of figuring out,
Mm-hmm.
what it means to be a guardian, especially with Saint 14, what it means to be consumed by the darkness. Um, so I don't know. I feel like having darkness guardians would undo a lot of that narrative work. I think.
Nah.
But hey, I don't know. What do I know?
I mean,
Let's see.
I can't read the general direction it's going in too many places other than that, because even though we do very often end on what's essentially a post-Marvel movie credits scene, this one ended with a choice. And I mean, this thing seems like, whatever this is inside of the pyramid, it seems like it's about to have a serious conversation with you about the nature of the universe. Like, I feel like that thing is about to black pill me. All right? Coming up to me.
It's about
with
to
his-
black
Yeah,
pill you.
with his nice, comforting voice, my appearance. And he's like,
Yeah.
we're not your friend. We're not your enemy.
You're so-
We are your salvation. And I'm like, oh no, he's about to hand me one of those little booklets.
about to hit
It's
you
one of
with a
those little
booklet.
small Jehovah's
Well,
Witness booklets, and
you
it has
know-
a circle on it and it just says the light. And and then there's like a picture of the speaker with devil horns on the inside. And just you know that's what's happening in the pyramid right now. So I can't see how there wouldn't be some people that go, hey, you're right. Unchecked power growing disproportionately out of control could be a bad thing. The Traveler's turning people into cancer. We gotta stop it. And it's like, oh god. Civil War.
Okay, but that
Civil War.
means your own demise,
Civil War?
basically.
Yeah.
Or it means that you basically are worshiping. You're basically believing in sword logic,
Oh, boo.
right? You're admitting that. Hold on. You're admitting that some things don't need to
I feel
exist
like we act that way.
because they're.
Sorry. I sneezed.
Yeah, there's an element to Destiny. Bless you. There's an element to Destiny that's kind of like that
Right,
already, where we're kind of doing things in order to become stronger,
We're the
and
Jedi.
we're killing everything that doesn't conform to,
Yes.
kind of our philosophy. So you could argue we're already doing that.
We're stopping things from killing things by killing them. Wait, what?
Right. Yeah, basically.
Well, you know what's funny? I love that in response to having his ant farm wiped out, he basically sword logicked. He practiced necromancy. And then the
Ooh.
Traveler. And then
Oh, well, that's not sword logic
no,
at
I'm saying
all.
he practiced necromancy, and then his zombies are kind of doing sword logic. Because if you say the things that deserve to exist in the universe are the ones that prove they're strong enough to, I think the Hive is not making a good case for themselves. The Cabal, kind of on the ropes. The Fallen, whoops. I feel like the
Definitely not.
apex,
Yeah.
the apex predator class here is us. And
Yeah,
don't beef
and
up.
if you read that last
You're about
lore
to get
card,
logic.
it basically says that.
All right, where are we going?
So, so remember, so do you remember that last lore card we picked up from
You
Eris?
picked up the last card?
Well, no, the last one we
Oh.
picked up. I actually looked into it, and the last one isn't available yet. You're not supposed to have it. There are some people that actually glitch their way into
How?
it somehow, but you're not actually you're not
Did they
supposed to
jump
have
into the
it.
Hellmouth while doing an emote, rubbing their stomach and patting their head at the same time, while whistling the Halo theme?
I don't know what they did. I think it's people on PC that were already doing other stuff. That was weird.
Fantastic.
But
Some
yeah.
amazing things on PC.
Yeah, so it basically yeah. So it basically says that. It basically says that you that because the traveler has made us basically its last gambit, that makes us important. And by the way, just to close out this whole lore detour that we're on right now, um, you know how that card says that you're majestic?
Yes. Is he talking about my form, my visage, or the components that make me what I am and allow me to walk around as a dead person?
He's talking about you and the fact that the traveler has decided to bestow its the last of its power, basically.
Yeah,
on
that's kind
you.
of what I read. I didn't think it was an individual comment, more like the Guardian is majestic. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's not talking about any specific person. But we are the guardian, so he is speaking to us or it. Whatever. But you know where else you find that? It struck me as familiar. There's one of the it's in the Book of Sorrows. In the Book of Sorrow. When Oryx communes with the darkness itself, or the deep, or whatever he calls his gods, it's the same voice. It's the same kind of cadence that we find in these lore cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's wait. Did I close it out? I thought I had it open. Let's see.
I can get you inside.
I think it's called Majestic, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's called Majestic, and that's exactly what the darkness says. It's verse 4-2, Majestic. I'm sending it to you now. If you read it, it's like the same way it talks to us. It's so weird. Okay, while you look at that, I am actually talking to Saint. Okay. Saint 14 takes the weapon frame from you, holding it as it is something very precious. This, he says, looking up from the frame, was used during the Battle of Twilight Gap. That battle was one of the moments that helped define what we, as the city, stand for. He hands the frame back to you. People of the last city came together as one to fight that battle, guardians and lightless alike. If you could repair this, we would recover an important piece of our history, a symbol of what it means to be a guardian. He considers the frame in your hands, thinking. Perhaps, in the ruins of Twilight Gap, you could recover the materials to return this weapon to its proper glory. Alright.
Wow.
Twilight. Oh man, this is cool. It says
6 months ago, I was a school teacher.
Saint 14 has confirmed the timeless frame he finds a piece of Twilight Gap history. He thinks he can repair the materials recovered from the site of the greatest battle itself. Venture to Twilight gap in the EDZ and reclaim the lost open fragment 14 described. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm very excited. We're going to Twilight Gap. Excuse me.
Going to
I'm
Twilight.
telling you, listen,
Oh, there's two
Lenny
little
James
thingies.
is tired. You
Oh,
know,
no,
I need the lozenge, the Ricola. Listen, my number is right there. I'm gonna flash it on the screen so you guys don't send me pizzas. You know, Luke Smith, hit me up. I can feel it in my bones. You know, I can. You know, I got me a good. You know, I'll even leave the helmet on the whole time. It's the way.
What?
I mean, you do know the helmet never comes off. No one's ever seen Lord Shax's face. 'Cause the helmet never comes off.
No, it never comes off. He must be a Mandalorian.
Evil Levante doesn't even know whether he eats the cookies with the helmet on. Somebody told me they just saw him like smashing them into the front of the mask, and then, yeah.
And then like eating the crumbs.
Like that's like mixes them in a glass of milk and makes a shake and then drinks it. That's what I heard. Anyway,
Oh, that's what you heard. All right.
Well, I heard the other horn on his helmet is still stuck in that Kel's face, and that's why it's yeah. I heard like he straight up head butted a Kel in the face during Twilight Gap, and that's what broke his helmet. He didn't Saint 14 it, but he definitely like tackled it like a beast.
Welcome to Twilight
Oh
Gap.
man, Twilight.
I
Gap.
thought humanity nearly died.
Guardian,
Ooh.
there are no Crucible matches scheduled for the Gap today.
What?
Osiris, how did you know we were here?
I saw the
Oh,
Guardian
God.
arrive.
You're spying on him?
I watch all Guardians of stature.
It's the Traveler's butt.
Uh,
Don't break its butt. He broke its butt. I mean, look at that. You know, when you think
Wow.
about where we
Look
are
at
in
it.
relation to the Traveler, and like this is how close Twilight Gap was. This kind of was the last stand. You know, if they broke through this, that was it, man. Falling or eating your kids. I heard they do that. I heard they eat children. Elixir intimidation tactic.
oh, what is this? Oh, okay. That was a. Wow, that's so interesting. I gotta take a screenshot.
You know, you got like 9 more of those. Oh, you're taking a screen. Oh, you're taking a picture of the Traveler's sweetmeats. That's just nice.
That's bananas. Oh yeah, this is the Crucible map.
Yeah, it's Twilight.
Makes so much
It's
sense.
Twilight Gap.
Now. Twilight Gap.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. This is nuts.
Yeah, so you know what this means, right? Hey, dear. Hold on.
What?
Hold on. Are you looking? DLC intensified. I wonder what the next Crucible map is going to be in the next expansion. I wonder if it's going to be Twilight Girl. This is a great map, too. I love this map.
Oh,
I never knew it had so much history in it. And is it just me? I mean, I don't remember seeing the freaking... The Traveler's there. Why is it so close? Why is the Traveler so big? I feel like we've got a scale issue. Like, I feel like it wasn't this big in Destiny 1. Like, I mean, I know the new tower is closer to it, but it looks bigger.
it does look bigger. And also, isn't it?
The inside is green. Dear.
I
Confirmed.
feel like it's
It's
closer.
a jawbreaker.
though. Didn't it move closer?
I don't think it did.
Because the Cabal had that thing on.
Yeah,
it,
but the
right?
only thing it did was like, there are no strings on me. And he, he knocked off the harness and then broke its butt. But I don't think it moved. I mean, did it? I feel like that's such a large body that it certainly has a little bit of its own pull. And I feel like if the Traveler moved even an inch, the results would be cataclysmic on this planet. Like, everybody in the lab, everybody underneath the Traveler would instantly get the bends if the Traveler moved. We have to evacuate the last city. I don't know, is it just me? Can't you fix yourself? This is so unsightly.
Yeah, it's weird that it seems to just be sitting there all.
See, this is why people think it's a vessel. Either that or it's just a selfless machine that cares not about its husk. I mean, what's it? You see the inside, right? It's like green. It's got layers.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to go inside and see
It also
what's
seems
up.
to have its own atmosphere because those rocks, I mean, I know how Earth gravity works. And that's why I'm worried about everybody underneath that thing getting the bends. Okay, Traveler, don't move, or I will have Rasputin shoot you out of the sky.
Battle against the fallen took place here. It made Titans famous, not in a good way.
You say that like the warlocks and hunters sat on
I had to
their
headbutt
hands.
someone.
Get off this line, Osiris. I'm showing the Guardian something very important.
Make
Oh God.
You would not survive that, but you make me laugh. You can stay.
They're like having an argument on
Did
the
Osiris
town.
just say make me?
Yeah. And Saint 14 was like, you would not survive that.
Yeah, seriously. Make me. Like, do you really want...
Wow.
I mean, I'm just waiting for Saint 14 to retort like, Osiris, wash your robes. You're beginning to look less like owl and more like raven. And I would just, I mean, I already said this twice. Osiris, I don't know what happened to your robes, bro, but they're kind of faded. Like, he's been going through the timeline so much, he forgot to go through the bleach timeline. The timeline where everything is just bleach and you can clean your clothes. But, what?
Oh, that's how you clean your clothes. You go through a bleach
I mean,
timeline.
if anybody can do it, it's Osiris. You can just take a quick trip right through the bleach forest, come out the other end, boom. And he can wait another 100 years before he washes his robes again. It's just...
Final deaths, all of them.
Wow.
That's
What
17.
happened here wasn't your fault. Or mine.
We would have lost if not for Shax's last stand. With Nkeichi and Abdi and Truce, Li Feng, Anna. They all
Wow, they
believed
speak
in
Anna's
him.
name.
He's more stubborn than you.
I have never known him to give up. Ever. He's taught me a lot.
Wow.
That's wonderful. I had a relationship.
That's
He taught him a lot.
quite educational.
But didn't we...
Oh no.
Well, Saint 14 doesn't have any salts on him, I guess, but I thought they retconned Anna Brady as her. They're like, oh, great Anna Brady. If I like no, she just ran away. She was looking for a girlfriend. And fell underneath some ice. Like Captain America.
I don't know. I guess that is that
Yes.
is that comic
I mean,
canon?
we can call it head canon. But yeah, it's technically canon. Bungie was releasing those things on their website periodically. So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, technically you're right. She has been retconned to be a deserter, and no one seems to have a problem with it. So yeah, she faked her death. That's fucked up.
she faked her death so that she could play hackers with Matthew Lillard. And Angelina Jolie. When she wanted to study her Rosetta Stone,
Yeah.
her Russian for Dummies book.
Yeah, I think that was during a period of Destiny history where the storytelling was particularly shaky.
Until it wasn't. You know what? I'm not going to show you where any more of these robots are.
We
You wanna
got
just not laugh at my
7,
jokes?
so we need 3 more.
I mean, you could just come over here. Lash LaRue.
What?
Robot.
Oh.
See, this, why,
I see the robot has like a,
it has a crucible mark on it.
yeah, that's cool. His left hand.
Well, I've seen a lot of these on the robot axes are the ones that are combat.
You've become the best of us. Or close to it.
Really?
Without you, there would be no Saint 14. The Battle of Twilight Gap might have been lost.
Yeah, that's true.
Facts, B.
Your ego knows no bounds.
Yo, you dirty bird.
And you had a fat head for luck.
Oh.
Yo, he insulted your beak, son.
damn,
He insulted your bird hat.
He straight up called his. He just said he had a
Called you
fat
Tweety
head.
boy. He called you Tweety.
Guardian, there are no sanctioned matches at Twilight Gap right now.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Osiris,
Warlord Shax, as I live in
What?
peace.
Saint 14? I thought you were dead.
Brother, I have always hated you.
They'll be at this for a while, Guardian. Feel free to move about the universe.
Don't you move.
I'm sure you have better things to do than listen to this.
Actually,
Shax,
Um.
what have you done with it?
It's not the crucible you and I were for years. But Twilight Gap changed everything. After that day out there, the Crucible went from a place where we settled our differences to a place where we bettered ourselves.
I
Wow.
heard you give out some to your fighters.
Those weapons are earned with blood.
mostly tears.
Are you sure your fighters are
Oh,
Zora
that's
chasing
too meta. I
hard?
feel attacked.
Oh.
I feel attacked.
When you wait that way, you sound like a sad, lonely rat man who lives downstairs.
Damn.
Drifter,
Oh.
keep your enemies close, right? Watch him for us.
I was shocked to see Eris mourn again. She is not as she was.
She represents the best of us. Ghostless. And stronger than you and me both.
Perhaps we could get her a bigger gun. She would not have to carry that rock all the time.
Wow.
This is great.
Tell me more about this weapon you crafted. I am
The Reddit slash game.
I heard you made one for your Redrix. Redrix is
Hey.
What is this?
Ah! He only knew the Destiny
there was
one
a
name.
hand cannon as well. You made one for Yosef. Luna's howl.
Yes, Luna was his dog. She passed on the moon, fighting high.
Dog was fighting.
Those
What kind of
bastards.
terrible?
I'm glad you killed their king.
Are these questions leading anywhere, Saint?
Yes. The long rifle you designed. What's the story behind it? What does it do?
It shoots bullets. It's a gun.
All the good work you've done. The city is amazing.
Oh, boy.
Power is amazing.
Amazing.
I done hails in comparison to what our guardian has.
Word.
I always
Word.
told you he would return to save us.
Still wearing that spin foil hat, I see.
Wow.
The guardian saved you with Vex Tech. He is not a divine savior.
Excuse you. I've killed
Wanna
gods.
bet?
Oh, you never change.
And you still owe me Glimmer.
In my defense, you were
Wow.
dead.
Wow.
And I don't make much as Crucible
This
handler.
is amazing.
No. When I walk the streets of the city, the children demand I carry them. I do so, but I ask them to sing me a song. A song of their people.
No, I refuse.
A titan is only as good as his word.
I don't know any
God.
songs.
Maybe there's something
Oh my god, is he gonna sing?
Let me see. There is sound of few
Saladin's
bars on the
prophecy.
moon. How did it go? I a moon.
What?
It's made of cheese.
that is awful.
It's Eris's.
Wow. I'm on the moon. It's made of cheese.
Made of cheese.
Well, roll credits, everyone. Destiny 2 has now ended. Saladin's prophecy has come true. It isn't over until Lord Shax sings. And believe me, he's very shy. Lord Shax just sung.
Lord Jax just said.
The Destiny saga has come to a close.
Oh, jeez, it's over. Jax just sang. This is the best thing that has ever happened. I can't deal with this. I have to get that now.
In your bed of salt.
Yes, in my bed of salt.
I laugh in my head because I bet that my ex looking back like a pillar of salt. Are you breakdancing?
Yes.
You got the thing. Oh my gosh.
Yes, I did.
You got-
I got the thing.
Wait, where's mine? Where's mine? Oh no, I can't unequip the shoulders. Not the boulders.
You're gonna have to make some choices, dude.
All right. Look at that. Look at that coordination. Only guardians who are truly in sync can win at the Crucible.
So we can leave, right? We don't have to.
I mean, I'd say we're just about ready for Crimson Days at this rate. That's fantastic. That is getting used.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you got the gun, right?
That. Wow.
Look at this thing.
Okay.
Look, it's a sidearm.
Yeah, I got the gun.
Okay,
Let's
look,
see.
it fires bullets, right? Right? But then, if you're feeling like Mega Man, check this out. I saw you pause your game.
Ooh. What?
All right. So say you're tired of firing bullets. Say that
What?
person over there is about to shoot you with the recluse, and you can't take this no more. You're making a last stand. So what do? You hold down the trigger.
What? Wait,
It shoots lasers.
try that.
When you can either fire it normally like a sidearm in single bursts, or hold the trigger down for a laser that'll eat the whole magazine. That's ridiculous.
Okay. That is
Omega
quite
Z
insane.
took it into the Crucible yesterday and we had quite the hoot as Guardians were melted. Faces were rearranged in a way that could only be described as avant-garde. And
Alright, press on. The devils will rue the day they came to our door. Okay.
I'm on the earth.
It's made of Gouda. There's a reason we fight. It's not simply to there are those who depend on us to stand up, hold the line, and defend what we hold dear. The battle for Twilight Gap remains the hallmark of our fortitude and prominent reminder that there is nothing we do is easy. I recall Shax defiantly ignoring Saladin's orders to fall back, driving his fire team to a final push on the wall of the last city. It ended up providing the momentum we needed to save the city, but also splintered bonds between the Titans. Perhaps I can help suture these wounds now that I have returned. Even so, our memories are flooded by moments of pain, duress, and strife. Use them, wield them, channel them through you. Carry a piece of the battle with you. But these will never replace the mighty Gjallarhorns of old. Glory comes in all sizes, and we can still celebrate the victory that with munitions such as these. It is more than a gun, it is a symbol. Each component of this weapon represents a sacrifice made for the greater good. May it bring you the strength to prevail when all looks lost. Should the city ever come under threat again, you'll be ready. Saint 14. Oh man, I love Saint 14. I hope he never leaves.
You know, I'm looking forward to him being a part of the story moving forward. He has such a strong personality and such an amazing accent. I need to hear more of him. Can we just have can we have Saint 14 re-record all of the ghost lines?
Yeah, maybe instead of both, we can have Saint 14. Just like.
Alien, something strange is going on with my light. You know? Be perfect. Listen to that. Just putting some stank on it, you know?
Oh my god. Hey, do you. Well, I read some interesting theories recently. Well, first of all, let's figure out where we're going. Where do you want to go?
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of itching to do that Death Singer quest that we've been sitting on since Shadowkeep began. Do you want to do that? Because you're up to the last step, right? Where you gotta collect, you gotta collect the head of the Death Singer, Ir Iram.
Let's see.
We have to do a special version of this thing called Symphony of Death, which is I don't know if I remember. That's ain't that the Hash Ladoon? Oh no, you gotta fight.
I think so. Let's see.
Whatever it is, I want to do it.
Okay. Strike. It's like to hide up there. Silmaka with.
So, wait, what? Silmaka?
Yeah, mine says Silmaka.
Mine doesn't say that. Mine says. Mine says I have to fight my way into the depths of the Circle of Bones, survive the aria, and defeat the Death Singer Ir Iram. Then bring her skull to Eris Morn.
Oh.
Power levels.
Oh, so you already did.
Power levels 920 on it. What's your quest look like? Let's do yours then. We can do the last one together.
So I gotta do
Any quests?
Symphony of Death.
My cheeks out.
Your
like one,
cheeks. All right, so we gotta go back to the moon.
Where the wizards come from?
Yes, where the wizards.
I've heard it's like the Hogwarts of this galaxy. Oh no, I have to deliver 4 more gifts. Who am I going to deliver a gift to? Actually, I need to give Devram K some gentleman's shortbread. Some of these dawning bounties. I had to get the snowman projection. I'm conflicted, Booze. Should I get that kooky card trick emote? Or should I get the whatchamacallit? Or should I get that crystalline shell? Did you see the crystalline shell? It looks like a dawning decoration. It's like mostly silver ball.
Oh, does it look like a cookie or
It doesn't
something?
really look. Well, that's the confectionery shell. That's actually on the table too. So the card emote, the confectionery shell, the crystalline shell. I mean, that sparrow looks pretty dope too. Maybe the sparrow's on the table if I can get. Yeah. Oh yeah, the sparrow's on the table too. That cardinal directive. Yeah, that's a thing.
Is that the one that's like a bear?
No, I wish that was that was in the rotation last week, and I should have bought it then. And now, I do not. I no longer have an option to have the bare necessities. Could have had Baloo. Could have been somebody. So what do you think? Do you like card shuffle emote? I feel like I want it, but I only want it to induce FOMO in other Guardians. I don't feel really invested in it.
I mean, if that's the only reason you want it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have? Are you spending money?
No,
or
Bright Dust.
do you have like?
I have enough Bright Dust to get it.
Banana dollars.
I have enough banana dollars to get.
Bright
yeah,
Dust?
everything I mentioned, I have just enough Bright Dust to get all of them. So Bright Dust is not an issue.
Maybe the card trick thing would be cool.
Yeah. You think so? Not a big fan of that shell, right? And that sparrow kind of looks like a.
Nah, not really.
Kind of looks like an arrowhead. I don't know. All of my sparrows are either Goofy or Harleys. So. What? It's true. Most of my Titan sparrows, you kind of sit back in them with your beer gut hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I have like Harley sparrows. Felt like it fit the shoulders, you know? Yeah, you haven't gotten one of those yet? Oh man, there are some really interesting shapes out there, Boo-Boo.
Okay.
Woo! Alright. As the plan usually does end up going, I will go and get an orb all by my lonesome, because I am the greatest.
I don't know why. I don't know what happened. You guys are all the way ahead of me for some reason.
Because your time's of the essence. Either that or we are just disconditioned by now to just speed run everything and such. But I don't know. I mean, I've done this mission enough to know where this is going. Oh my god, space lasers that come from guns. Like I said, always, I will get the first orb by my lonesome. I follow the Kobe system. I said, how many more orbs can I gather? More orbs. How many more orbs can I slam? More. I slammed so many. Here, I can't deposit this thing. Do you see an arrow or something? Any indicators indicating?
Yeah, it's right here. It's right here.
The bridge is lowering.
Are you having fun with this new thing?
Yeah.
This laser doesn't seem to have damage fall off.
Oh.
Oh, did you hold the trigger down? Well, now you know what you have to say, right? You have to say it the way Thor would say it. Of course. Ah, you gonna make me do it? Okay. You want me to hold the trigger down?
Wait, who?
You're gonna say it like Thor. You gotta mix your obscure pop culture references for the win. Yeah, that's weird. I was watching Age of Ultron.
Okay.
It's in my head. I was watching Age of Ultron the other day, and while my reptilian brain, oddly enough, swears that the first one was better, I kind of like the second one a little bit more. Even
The second one.
I like Age of Ultron a little bit more than the first Avengers, I think. In hindsight.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like if you take them in the order they came out and you were very well aware of all the behind-the-scenes drama, it's very easy to paint the movie in a bad light, even though it's not badly made technically. I think the lack of drama and the hype and the overall atmosphere that was going to see the movie and experiencing that for the first time gives the movie a lot of points, which are valid points, because movie watching is an experience. But I mean, as a movie, I feel like Age of Ultron does a lot more character-wise, stakes-wise, and story-wise to really ground the characters and bring them together and really force some tense scenarios that actually mean something, because there's personal investment in a lot of what happens. Like the first Avengers can be kind of described as like it's almost like a made-for-TV movie in a theater. Like it's got that. I'll draw your eyes to- One, the movie is extraordinarily campy by design. Like it's not just LOL MCU humor. Like the movie is actively very campy and wears it on its sleeve. That and the look of the movie is weird. Like we talked about that before. Like how the lighting in the Avengers is really flat. Everything is really overlit, like a soap opera set. And you go and watch Age of Ultron and you realize, holy crud! It's like watching The Force Awakens after 30 years of Star Wars. And then Finn turns on the lightsaber in the forest and everything around him starts glowing blue. And then it's then that it hits you that was never a thing, and it looks so weird because now they're acknowledging that light exists. So it's kind of like that for me. Like Age of Ultron has very realistic lighting. It's really well shot. How did I forget that the opening action scene of the movie is a 1 minute long continuous shot with no cuts? As the camera follows Thor, Captain America, Tony, Hawkeye, Black Widow, everybody in the Avengers get a moment in this 1 minute long continuous shot of them like driving through the forest.
Yeah, that was a really good
like,
intro.
wow.
I really love that scene.
Yeah. Okay.
And, you know, and then everyone kind of lines up for a split second, and you see, you know, Avengers, Age of Ultron, and that's really cool.
Well, no.
That's a really nicely put together.
Well, it says the title after Tony grabs the scepter after Scarlet Witch freaks him out. But the thing, I don't know what it is, but alright, if you wanted to describe the body of the Avengers, right? And remember, we're not pooping on the Avengers here. We're just describing an epiphany.
Guardian.
If you wanted to boil it down, you'd say, well,
as pure and potent
Loki's
as
got a scepter.
He
wants to open a portal.
Your deeds have
Get
inspired an
machines,
abiding
kill all the life on
fear
Earth.
and hatred in
Right.
the hive. But now there's something more.
But a lot,
Been to
I mean,
where
you know,
they
you got a
long
standard
to go.
villain, but a lot of the characters,
Communed with the very object of
a lot of the
their
characters'
worship.
conflicts
Beneath the hatred
are
lies
very,
a dreadful awe,
a lot of the characters' conflicts are very new, very personal to them,
searing and
and they're not a team yet. So you don't really yet have a sense of how their problems not only affect themselves, but one another. It's kind of just, you know, the bad guys team up and beat, the good guys team up and beat the bad guy kind of setup, which is cool, and there's nothing wrong with that setup. But in Age of Ultron, if you notice, no matter what's happening, everything that happens in the story, either to characters or something that causes a conflict, is usually something deeply personal to the character, and thus really meaningful to you as a viewer. Like, Tony Stark wanting to make Ultron is based on his fear that everybody's gonna die and he's not gonna be able to do anything, and he wants, you know, he just wants to kick back and sip Mai Tais, end the Avengers in a good way. That's deeply personal to him. Thor's distrust of Stark did not get any bonus points in it. So when Thor immediately flies into the room after they find the pieces of Jarvis everywhere and just start strangling Tony, you kind of get a sense, I mean, well, you just spent one movie repairing that rift, and now he kind of lied to you. Wanda and Pietro grudging Stark because they watched the dummy Stark Industries bomb nearly blow up in their face after it killed their family.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got something going on, and on a character level, everybody's more interesting. You know, even Hawkeye. We thought you were single, bruh. No, he's got a family on a farm.
Yeah.
He's dating Velma. Velma's his wife. You know, so I just, you know, I thought the action was a lot better. The special effects were definitely wow. Hello. And the character work kind of evolved from the first movie too, and all of the characters became better as a result. Tony and Steve's ideological differences and the way they, you know, handle running the Avengers. Hawkeye and Black Widow being the odd ones out, but still fighting with the Avengers because it's, you know, what they believe is right. It's like, oh, okay. And, you know, as far as setting up things later on in the timeline, that's just really clever hindsight writing. But it's really surprising just how much of Age of Ultron ended up in the conclusion of the MCU.
Yeah.
Despite a pretty dramatic, creative, and tonal shift after Guardians, you know. Even though the movie does predict some weird shit that never happens, like that weird version of Ragnarok. A lot of it, you know.
Well, Ragnarok does happen.
Yeah, but it's not like a decadent festival of... It's not like a visual metaphor for a deadly sin. Yeah, like it was in Age of Ultron. I was just surprised at just how much the movie made me like the Avengers more. I do think it's it's still a little bit spineless. What the heck happened? I love that when you die. I love that when you die on this elevator, you just end up at the top. Like, why not just die and then wait for the respawn? Anyway, I still think it was a little bit spineless to make Ultron less scary. Because I think he would have really worked had he been a little bit more intimidating instead of like a PG-13 Terminator, where they blow up so many of him like halfway through the movie, you just stop taking his physical body seriously anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I think they blow him up like 7 times in the movie. Every time they have a face-to-face conversation with Ultron, they destroy one of his bodies, and it's like, all right, well, fake. But I think had he been allowed to be as sinister as he was in the opening scene or in the trailer, he would have been more memorable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Although, I mean, I think the scary thing about him isn't his body. It's the fact that, you know, if he achieves what he wants, oh, this is the thing I need to kill.
Like he's a perversion of Tony Stark's desire to save the world. Because when you say protect the world from, you know, all threats, and then you look through the history of the world and see humanity just fucking everything, it stands to reason that the AI is going to think that humans are the problem.
Right.
But that's an interesting direction to take stuff in.
Technically not incorrect. Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, he said peace in our time, right? Who's causing all the civil unrest? Who's inventing murder bots?
Yeah. Murder.
He's like, oh, Tony made a murder. Oh, so you made a murder bot. Not a murder bot. But yeah, I was surprised at just how much I enjoyed it and just how little of the drama I had on my mind to really color my perception of what I was seeing. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but did we see that movie in 3D? I think we did. Yeah, was that when we were still IMAX? Okay, good, because the movie's also brighter than I remember it being. It's amazing what a little bit of contrast will do. I don't remember it looking as good as it did.
Yeah. Yeah, this is back when we used to, you know, see everything that was available in 3D.
Well, in particular, we would link and square it up for MCUs, because that was our hub. That was where Iron Nose, the first Snoop, was filmed at Lincoln.
Iron Nose.
Here she comes.
Yes, it was filmed at Lincoln Center, so it was only natural that we saw all of the MCU movies there until the Alamo Drafthouse was invented. And then we betrayed our IMAX fathers and saw Endgame on a not IMAX.
We did. That was awesome.
It was awesome. We were with a good crowd. But I did see it in IMAX. Holy shit! Isn't it? There are IMAX scenes in that movie. Here. The first thing
But-
that stood out to me was the audio. The IMAX mix of that
Yeah.
movie is insanity, bro. When Captain America is giving Thanos the business with the hammer, I could feel it in my chest. The hammer is not a real thing. There's no reason why hitting someone in the face needs to sound that detailed or realistic. Like, boom! Oh, wow. I didn't hear that before. There's speakers in the ceiling. Oh, funny that. But yeah, it was also brighter than I remember. I think that's a 3D'ing though. Back when we thought, you know, 3D was the future.
Yeah.
After the future, after the future. We've had a lot of futures.
After the future. We have.
My only regret, to be honest, is having never seen Beowulf in 3D. I feel like I actually missed out on something. Or How to Train Your Dragon 1.
Oh, Beowulf?
Yeah, I heard those movies are
I
phenomenal.
saw that in
3D.
3D.
Like they were actually made for it. Especially How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes, I saw Beowulf.
You did?
In 3D. Yeah.
How were Angelina Jolie's boobs? That's a CGI for boobs.
Harris.
Oh,
I
okay.
heard
It's
that she
over.
had no idea
Ashladun is dead.
that she would be walking around like the
This is a
Silver
relief
Surfer.
to hear, but Hashladun's presence is no
Like she thought she was gonna look like a monster thing.
Well-
Like that's what she assumed because she had the bodysuit on and everything.
influences
But no, apparently not.
return to me.
Apparently.
There is much to discuss.
I mean, it's entirely CGI.
Well, yeah, but she thought she was gonna be like a monster or something. She didn't know she was literally just gonna be naked Angelina Jolie in character. Like she ain't look.
I don't think it's just naked Angelina Jolie. I don't remember that. I think it.
Dear, she looks very humanoid. She looks like naked Angelina Jolie with no defining features. She's a star in the Dope Show, basically. Like she doesn't look grotesque or like Grendel or anything. Like Grendel looks like. Grendel looks like a visual metaphor for the socio-political abomination he is. It's like life just life was just determined to drive this metaphor home. The king had look at what happened. This is why we don't do this. But that's one of those if the DeLorean exists kind of deals. Okay, so what's your next step there?
So, let's see. It says.
I think it's on 3D Blu-ray though. We'll catch it sometime. This 3D TV still works somehow.
Alright. It says record your enemy
Oh, for the
screams.
love of
Defeat base combatants to record discomfort.
base combatants
Alright.
to record discomfort.
I don't understand what that
Did
means.
you say
Defeat elites and
Oh.
mini bosses to record pain. Defeat bosses and other guardians to record anguish. To record, not record.
this episode brought to you by
Dreams
Hooked on
gathered on the
Phonics?
moon. Got more. How am I supposed to know what this
I'd like to
means?
thank today's sponsor of the show, Duolingo. Woo. Teach your kids English. Don't catch them recording your calls. Next thing you know, they'll be trying to put a record on the turntable at parties.
Oh, stop.
I'm sorry, you know I can't help it when somebody's emphasizing the wrong syllables.
You're a jerk.
I'm a hit song.
Uh,
It spawned a dance.
yeah, so I apparently just have to kill base combatants, elites and mini bosses, bosses and
Sounds
other
like you need to do escalation protocol and potentially Crucible. Escalation protocol is full of base enemies, mini bosses, and elites.
Maybe not Pit of Heresy,
Pit
because it says
of Heresy.
screams gathered on the moon count more.
Pit of Heresy. Do you know what the Pit of Heresy is?
Isn't it like just a bunch of
No.
things coming out of the ground?
No, that's the Altar of Sorrow. The Pit of Heresy is the shattered throne of the moon. That's the thing that me and Omega Zed tried to two-person. And while we did not get slapped, it was definitely one of the most harrowing experiences I've ever had. You know, I almost forgot what raids were like. It was the thing I told you about where, like, in the first room, we had to jump down to these towers, match symbols, and kill 3 guardians. Each guardian had to be killed with a specific weapon a specific way. You only get this weapon from this one weird glowing knight. So, right, get this. You get a sword. The first one is a knight. So, basically, yeah, you have to have a sword fight with the beast. Kill it with a sword, melee, you're done. The next thing is a shrieker. The secondary attack on the sword is a block. So, what do you do to kill a shrieker? You block the shrieker and deflect its shots back into itself until it dies. The third thing you have to fight is a warlock. And the sword, yes, because the sword's super attack shoots out a glowing green sword like a projectile. It's almost like the dark blah blah blah. You have to use the super attack on the sword to kill the wizard. It's the only thing that damages it. Once you get those 3, a door opens and you get let into these catacombs with 10,000 doors. I jumped into one of them and an ejector seat blew me into a wall. I'm pretty sure the same person who programs the Cabal to crash down from the sky like meteors is the same person that made the wall of doors within the actual doors. None of them are doors, dear. Zed found a hole in the wall. We jump into the hole. Suddenly we're in this cave full of bones and skin grafts. It's gross. And an ogre comes out of nowhere. We try to shoot the ogre. We can't do any damage to it. We try to run away. We get hit at a dead end and a door with a slot for a crystal. Basically, there are 3 doors with where void charges need to be placed. The void charges are hidden inside the walls of this maze. And the maze is being shaped by indestructible ogres. So you have to sneak through these weird catacombs and get void charges and open all 3 doors. So you can be let into the next room, where you have to capture a plate as things spawn. And and that's where we died. That's where it ended, because, listen,
Wow.
I don't know if the ghost has a lifespan, but I'm pretty sure we took like 50 years off of it by doing that thing. I mean, it was really fun figuring out how it worked, but it certainly was heresy. If you want to do it sometime, I'm totally game. I mean, it's as long as you trust the fungus, you'll actually have a good time.
Okay.
You've got to be confident in your ability to snack things, because these things are usually leveled pretty far past you. So they're like, haha, look, you're gonna die in 1 hit. Thanks. Like, remember when we got to the end of the Shattered Throne? It was like, all right, well.
Yeah. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
We do a little bit better in it now, but yeah, it's kind of nutty.
Yeah.
Just how hard that was. And we were at the end. We made it
That
to
was
the end.
just absurd. We were at the end.
We have to finish that, though. You know that, right, dear?
Yeah.
Yes, because there is an exotic bow called the Wish Ender that comes from this dungeon. And,
Really?
you know what I'm about to say, right? You know what I'm about to say.
What are you about
Here.
to say?
You know this goes against our way. What's the number one thing we don't do?
These exotic.
That's right. We are not leaving especially not an exotic bow on the table. That is not the way. So we're gonna have to figure this out, because first you have to beat the Shattered Throne, and then you find these weird coins that lead you to these weird spirits that you have to extinguish. And once you extinguish them, you have to beat the boss again. And apparently it drops like the frame for that thing. Right, it's called the Wish Ender. Apparently, you know those the blights that cover the Dreaming City and the most corrupted stage? Apparently the Wish Ender can blow those up.
Yeah. But
Yeah. So we are leaving exotics. We're leaving bows on the mantle.
on the table, wow.
I think that'll be a fun thing to do. We can figure out how to beat the hallowed blah 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 together. You're a warlock. Maybe we'll both warlock it
Yeah.
up. I'll bring
That
a
should
well
be fun.
and my stag helmet.
And your
You know, from my
stag
days in
helmet.
the warlock fraternity. Yeah, you know, antlers. I love that thing. It's so technological, Wicker Man. It just speaks to me. The other one looks like it came off the wall of the Evil Dead cabin. Like, no respect. Okay, I guess we're not doing this. I'll do it.
How do I turn this
Crap.
on?
Don't you know the next round of escalation protocol is always, you know, you look for the next tower and then you activate it. There's an orange beam that goes into the sky.
Oh,
Yeah, you good, boo. Just come over here. They're coming out of the
I
ground.
was not aware.
The next area is always marked by an orange beam just shooting into the sky, because the next tower, it goes up. They don't stay down.
Okay.
I love me some. Fun. You know, I almost wanted to. I had a bit of an itinerary. I mean, the exotic quest is definitely on the table. I also wanted to go to the last Wish raid and give Riven some cookies. I found out how to do
Oh
it.
yes, me too. Let's
Because
do that.
you have to go to the raid
We
and
gotta
make
do
your way to
that.
this wish room, and apparently the 7th wish is to go straight to Riven. And when you go there, right before the first boss encounter, there's like a little mantle where you can actually give the cookies. So
Oh, okay.
we're about
okay.
to
we
go to
we
a
gotta
raid
do
boss
that
and
for
give
sure.
them cookies.
Give them cookies. I've been sitting on those cookies.
Yeah, seriously, they're called like 1,000-layer cookies or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah, like 1,000-layer cake or something.
yeah, my original theory did not work out. The Ahamkara skulls in the basement were not it. You actually have to go to the raid, which should be fun. Be a first for us. Riven's got like a monologue at the beginning about something.
Really?
Yeah, good gravy.
I have never heard Riven's voice.
You're gonna learn today, boo. The Dreaming City raid in general is very fascinating, especially if you were as invested in Forsaken story as you were. Because a lot of the corrupted Techians and people who are taken make a return in this raid, and it's kind of weird and unsettling. Riven's a dragon, okay? Riven's a wrist dragon. This game gets weird.
Yeah.
Seriously. Mark my words. Are you listening, Luke Smith? If we do not get Moth People by Destiny 3... Alright, who's with me? Who wants to see the Moth People? No? No? You want to see the Moth People? This universe has so much
I don't know how I feel
potential!
about moth people.
We've been fighting the same 5 races for 5 years. At least give us a new race a year.
That's true. We got Ice Hive.
We got Ice Hive and we got Red Hive. What?
And we got
What are Red Hive?
And we got
Cobra Kai Hive.
We got Moth Thief.
We got Moss Vex. That's not even a new Vex. That's not, that does not count as a new subclass.
No.
I mean, shit. Deer.
If there are any guardians
Oh,
on
well,
this
we got
channel,
the
or your site
Scorn.
just
We
crashed
We
got
got
in
the
your
Scorn with
facility,
Forsaken,
I
but
can use your help
Deer.
recovering its data.
Let's get down to brass
Yeah.
cheeks, okay? Those are zombie fallen. With
Well,
Burger
not
King
really.
crowns.
They behave differently.
They do.
Let the Hive claim
I
this
mean,
war sample.
I'm surprised that the Taken are as maligned as they are for being quote unquote palette swaps, because I'm sorry. Well, you can be really cynical and say, yeah, they're reusing the character models with a new skin on them. The Taken enemies behave so much different. They behave so differently from every other enemy in the game, and they force you to do weird shit in ways that no other enemy faction does. Listen, I can jump into a Hive's face and shoot it. I can jump into a Cabal's face and shoot it. Fallen, same thing. Alright, Scorn, yes. Have you ever tried to jump into a Taken captain's face? Because when it's not shooting bolts at you, it's shooting giant fireballs that blind you and electrocute you. Oh, and by the way, if you do try to get it far away, it throws up a shield. And you're like, alright, what the fuck? Like, you actually have to fight them differently. I like, even though they look the same, I like their I guess it's because they have context. The Books of Sorrow do a lot
Yeah.
to flesh them out as enemies.
You contextualize them, for sure.
And
Yeah.
that, you know, for once you get to, I mean, and that means, you know, you get to appreciate Bungie's art team again. Because the idle animations of the Taken are really, really well done. They're like
The
Necromorphs.
javelin should be there any moment.
They twitch
They are.
and, you know, move unnaturally, like something's controlling them. It's really well done. So no, I mean, Ice Hive are lazier than the Taken. Red Hive,
Yeah,
they're
for
wrong.
sure. Ice Hive, Red Hive are definitely lazier than the
They
Taken.
don't even have new attacks. They're just literally Red Hive. It's like you've got the regular Hive, then you've got like the First Order Hive. They even have a fortress. I mean, what? Uh-oh. Conspiracy. But, you know, hey. Maybe something that, again, I feel like we're heading in a very darkness-oriented direction. I want to see something wield the darkness proficiently. I want to see proficient wielding of the darkness. One thing that made Oryx so compelling was that he had so thoroughly mastered the darkness that exploring his ship, fighting him,
Right.
seeing what he accomplished was really, really interesting.
Right.
You know, need some more of that. You know, living this area here. It's a literal Ahamkara, even wearing their pieces. It's like meeting the mink after a lifetime wearing fur coats, and then you gotta fight an 80-foot tall mink, and you're like, ah, shit. Maybe I should have wore the Kepri Sting instead. No, you don't think so?
Yeah.
You've just been wearing their bones all your life, and then
I
you gotta
mean-
fight one that's as tall as a building.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's one way to.
I'm gonna attach you to a cod piece. Yeah, you can't hide it. I saw the bulge of Ahamkara. You're not fooling anybody.
The bulge of
You know, the designs went through many revisions. You know, settled on a.
The hive suppression field is up.
It was a Titan exotic. It was a Titan exotic butt flap. Should we copyright this? I feel like this is.
We should, totally.
I feel like we need to own the rights to
Rasputin is calling in the
the
Valkyrie at your
intellectual
location.
property bulge of Ahamkara. So what is this? What is this exotic cod piece do exactly?
It makes it so that get extra points when you
All of the data was recovered. Sending it your
shoot
way, Anna.
things
Got it.
in the
Thanks again, Guardian.
Lower
Oh my
torso.
God. What? Why? Why would any sane armorer make a piece of armor that requires you to shoot people in the dick? It's got to be the most dishonorable thing I've ever heard. Did you see 21 Jump Street?
That's the most.
Shot that man in the dick.
Yes, I did.
He was like, "Oh my God, you shot in the dick." You know, I've always said, you know, I've always talked about shooting people in the dick, but now that it's kind of happened, you know, it's kind of weird. Is that it on the ground? Like, oh, Jesus. Listen, I don't think anybody wants to. You are insane. I love you. Yeah. How about it reduces the time needed to get shoulder charge popping? Like shoulder charge charges instantly.
All right.
Something sweet and balanced. I mean, if I had the boulder of Ahamkara, my pelvic region had better be like max light. Okay. Wear them on every date.
Right.
Like, oh, your pants are
Really?
glowing. What's that?
Would you?
Is that an Ahamkara in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? Well.
It's an Ahamkara.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. That's where I keep my wish dragon.
About to make me use all my wishes up in here. You keep playing with me. All right. So, where are we? Lasers.
So this quest, I made some progress on this quest, to be sure. 30% discomfort recorded, 45% pained cries recorded, and 22% anguish screams
What's
recorded.
the criteria for this stuff? Is it the way you kill them and with what? That records anguish or screams or cries?
Well, this is kind of weird. I don't really understand because it says defeat 8 combatants to record discomfort. I'm assuming
Red
that's
bars.
just whatever
Red bar
enemy. Yeah, defeat elite and mini bosses to record
That's orange.
pain.
That's orange to
All right.
yellow.
And then defeat bosses.
And
Oh,
end of
that's
strike.
why. Defeat bosses and other guardians to record anguish.
Basically.
So that's anguish.
Okay, so
screams.
basically you can just run regular Vanguard strikes, or I wonder if Nightmare hunts count.
They do, I think, because it says screams gathered on the moon
Oh,
count
okay,
more.
so we could do some Nightmare hunts to probably knock the rest out of.
All right, let's do one, and then let's go find her then.
You really want to do that? Oh, you want to do that now? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unless you want to go do that now.
I was going to prep. I was gonna prep my troops a little bit because Monday is the last day of the dawning, so you can, you know, we can lead in on Monday, giving Riven a present. Yeah, because I'm gonna go out there and experiment a little bit. I just want to see how this wish board works so that we don't spend half an hour fumbling with the wish wall and moving around and dying in random places.
Alright, so let's go do some nightmare. And let's do one, and then afterwards I may need to retire.
I mean, if you pick Skolas, we could probably knock out 2. Because that is the shortest nightmare hunt.
Let's see. What are you
No,
done?
that is a
What's
no.
going on?
This you know, colonizer. This planet was inhabited before we got here. Yeah, yeah, that's right. I'm now.
Okay.
Are you shooting at me? Can't be these bushwhacked yokels that are the natural flora and fauna. They don't know what weapons are. Next thing you know, they'll be taking our gear.
Oscola.
Sorry, I saw the
I know Skolas is available. We just
Omnivore.
we have Oryx, Boga,
Oryx.
and Domino.
like the shadow of order?
No, sorry. Crota.
You
Son of
know, those
Um.
are not even spelled the same. You know what?
Because it said, Crota.
I
son
know,
of
I'm
Oryx.
teasing you.
I just read Oryx.
All right. So what do you want to do? I say we go for
I
not
don't know
Crota because
how.
Crota is well, I like fighting Crota, but Crota is weird. Crota has weird mechanics. Because you actually have to fight Crota like he's Crota, but not like he's Crota. Yeah, because the only way you can damage Crota is with his sword. There's an ad phase and then a sword phase. And
Alright, how about
we don't want the Fogoth. Like a summoning pit. I'm still looking for something in the Circle of Bones. Like, can I find these dead ghosts already? Like, these things are just...
Yeah, I haven't found any dead
Neither have
ghosts.
I.
Like,
These
it's
things are
bizarre.
living rent-free in my inventory.
Yeah.
Free.
I'm probably gonna just find a map or a YouTube video or something.
Yeah, because... and don't get me wrong, you know, I like to get video gamey sometimes. You know, when you've played enough games, I'm sure you know what I mean. You get used to playing a certain type of game. There's just things that you do when you know you can do them. So, you know, there's always parts of a level or something that looks like something should be hidden there. It's like, oh, look at this thing. That's a... If I wanted to hide something there. I have done that all over the moon and still not found any of these ghosts. So Bungie got me. I got Niobe Lab.
Wow.
I'm like, this seems like a place.
They hid those really well.
I jumped all the way up this tower.
Nope.
This weird construction tower in the middle of the moon. Jumped all the way up. Remember when we were doing the light thing? Yeah, like up that thing. I went all the way up. There's nothing up there.
Wow.
Nope.
These things are very
Just a
well
small white, a small post-it note stuck on the wall, and it said LOL. I don't know who patched that in, but you know, a million post-it notes are not enough, okay? For the Infernal Penguins, so we may just have to. Maybe I'll look some of that up too. We'll find some dead ghosts. I want these things out of my inventory. I want to pick up more bounties.
Yeah.
I've got this stuff, and then I've got a bunch of Dreaming City stuff that I don't know what to do with it. Are you chewing food? Are you chewing carbs?
Yeah, I'm eating a cracker.
Does this cracker have cheese on it?
No.
Dear, haven't you heard?
It's just a cracker.
Crackers love cheese.
They do.
Oh, that's racist.
What?
Yes, it's racist. Then again, I did call John Legend a bland saltine cracker. So, perhaps I need an education in food. I mean, clearly that man, clearly that man is a sugar cookie. A sugar cookie. What the hell?
I would give him more credit than to call him a bland, salty.
His look is not exciting. I love his voice. And his wife is a firecracker of a human being. She has mastered internet wit.
She has.
He's
it's
just,
true.
you know, it's like it's like in order to remain edgy, like to keep her edginess useful, she's like sucking it all out of John Legend. Right?
But he was never edgy.
I know. She's been working on him for a good while. That's exactly what I mean. So Chrissy Teigen can keep her edginess youthful. She just draws it out of John Legend. His chin gets less defined every year. His facial features just start to blend in. He's starting to look like a Kailu comic, you know. Just, I don't understand it. Okay, people tried so hard. Okay, listen. You are in shape. Your t-shirt is wet. You are halfway out of the pool. Why does it look like you're uncomfortable that your feet aren't touching the bottom and you're holding yourself up? No. John, this isn't it. We're for sexy. Is this the deep end? What are you doing? Did you see the pictures? You know, they always have like a 3-photo spread. He's wearing the latest of the Rag and Bone catalog, you know. And yeah, in one of the pictures, it looks like he's supposed to be hoisting himself out of a pool all sexy, like, you know, you're at the pool party, someone pushes you in playfully while you have your cell phone in your hand. You think about their impending doom until you realize your phone's waterproof, and then you get out of the pool. But as you're getting out of the pool, you know, some of the people at the party see you in slow motion, almost as if there's a Baywatch scene being filmed. Like, to you, it's in real time. Some people at the party are watching you emerge from the pool in slow motion. That's what John Legend was supposed to be doing, okay? He was supposed to be sexily emerging from the water. And like I said, it looked like he didn't realize he was in the deep end and that his feet weren't touching the bottom. Like right before they hit the shutter. He just said, John, sir. Maybe we can send him a leather jacket, you know?
Okay.
You know, Jeremy Renner does that. When he's not an Avenger, he's in front of a rock band.
Apparently, yes. I've heard that about him.
I'm afraid to listen to it.
Me too.
You know?
Hey, you know who else apparently does like a funky show when they're not busy doing other stuff? Apparently Joe Pesci is in like a jazz band or something.
Wow. That's awesome. What does he play?
Yeah. I'm not sure actually.
Oh man, while I was doing my tour of Phase 2 movies. Hun, did you realize Doctor Who Malekith? What? David Eccleston was Malekith in Thor: The Dark World. I said, holy shit, it's Doctor Who. It's the one with the leather, with the jacket.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, David Eccleston was Doctor Who. He was the cool Doctor Who. He was the Doctor Who with the short haircut and the black jacket. But yes, he's under like 7 hours of makeup. No, I'm not joking. It takes 7 hours to put on the Malekith. Yeah, he's under like 7 hours of makeup, but that's definitely David Eccleston. That's how unmemorable Malekith was. Wow. It's crazy. I just saw this movie less than 12 hours ago, and I still
From which movie?
I said Thor: The Dark World.
Oh.
David Eccleston. That is a former Doctor Who.
Wow. That is... Wow, I did not realize that. That makeup will hide anybody.
And you know what's so weird? He has such a recognizable face and cadence.
Yeah.
Give that person a raise, because wow, it is only in hindsight that I recognize him as David Eccleston. But I had no idea that was him the first time we watched this. There was nothing about him that stood out.
No, that...
I mean, shit, even I saw Elrond.
That definitely did not connect
in
for me.
what's his face? In Ronan the Destroyer, I see Lee Pace. I see you. I see your face, your elf face. But nope. He got Eccleston. But yeah, unfortunately, I was not able to find a redeeming quality in Thor: The Dark World, aside from the ongoing, love story, you know, between Thor and Loki. Which is the most compelling thing about it. Apparently, Joss Whedon is entirely responsible for that. Part of his rewrites and reshoots involved a lot more Thor and Loki scenes. Very wise man. Like,
Yeah.
listen, we only got so much to work with here,
Well,
and the charisma is palpable.
I think he recognized that Loki was probably, you know, other than Thor, you know, the most interesting character.
Yeah, and his popularity was kind of unprecedented because, like when a lot of Shakespearean actors take on roles in more conventional movies, the gut reaction of everybody is like, really him? Was it Hamlet?
Yeah.
You know, and then they destroy it And then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
all right, as you were, Mr. Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody saw Loki becoming such a fan favorite.
No. I was not expecting to like them as much as I did. But
You know, there's something about British actors that know how to treat certain kinds, and I don't know, I don't want to say it's just British actors, but I notice it the most with them is that I think Americans, for the most part, will try to take something, they'll take a piece of work or a piece of writing and really just try to follow the framework as much as they can, and then sprinkle themselves in where possible. Like you get a weird script. That's usually what they try to do. It's like guidance first, improvisation second. Whereas it seems really weird that I've seen commonly in British actors that they will treat the material appropriate to what the material appropriate to what the material is. Like, if you give them something camp, they're not gonna play it seriously. Or I mean, if they read it as camp or find that these lines somehow work better when you don't have a straight face, they'll play it like that. Part of the reason Ewan McGregor is one of the 3 memorable things about the prequel trilogy is that he does nearly every line with a damn smirk on his face. You never noticed that? When he's talking about getting rid of Sith is our specialty. Like, he just says it's like he knows George Lucas is terrible at script writing. So he's gonna take these lines and just feck around with them as much as he can and have fun. And Ian McDermott did the same thing, which is why Palpatine is Palpatine.
yeah.
He can take all those corny ass lines and make them sound like they have layers and layers of evil schmaltz. Like a turkey baster of schmaltz. I mean, you could say, you could just take it totally seriously and just go, once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy. Or you can realize that you're pale and wrinkled, and you kind of look like you get off on evil and evil things, like you're on Evil Tube a lot. So he says,
an evil tube.
So then Ian McDermott reads this line, and it's like, all right, all right, here we go. Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy. And he starts moving his fingers around, and, you know, he's ridiculous. But he's also extremely powerful, so you can't point and laugh at him. But he does seem to genuinely enjoy being evil so much that you just, it's like Mr. Plinkett said, you just kind of expect it after a while, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought he was pretty darn cool.
Yeah. Because they took the lines and they did what they felt was the most appropriate thing. Like, you're not giving me anything profound or compelling or character building. I'm gonna have fun with this silliness. And by contrast, you could say that Hayden Christensen did not get that memo, because everybody wants to give Hayden Christensen shit, but I mean, Hayden Christensen's a really good actor. His material wasn't. He didn't write the sand line.
He didn't write any of that. And I think, I mean, whenever I saw him in anything other than Star Wars, I thought he was pretty good.
Well, that's the thing. He's a good actor. If you want to have a fun guessing game or a fun drinking game for the prequels, especially Revenge of the Sith, look at Hayden Christensen's acting when he's saying George Lucas's lines. Then, in scenes where Anakin is not talking, look at Hayden Christensen. Somehow, his performances are almost 100% better when he has no lines. When he's standing there staring at Obi-Wan, staring at Padme, and you see the misguided betrayal in his eyes. When you see his reaction to not being named part of the council after taking out Dooku, and all of his silent acting moments are really easy to read. They're really well done. You can see Anakin. You can see his frustration. And then, you know, George Lucas has got to give him Bantha Poodoo.
Don't underestimate my power.
Jesus. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. You under what?
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I feel like every time he said something, I was just like, blah.
Paints your perception of the character.
Yeah. You're like so milquetoast. Oh my god.
Can't this guy just shut up? Where's Jar Jar? But
yeah.
Again, like it's a great smell test for the movie. Like seriously, like next time you ever come across the movie on cable or something, just watch Hayden Christensen. All of his non-speaking scenes are great. That's a lot. You took the material too seriously. You should have said, "Man, I hate sand. It's always getting in my robes, in between my toes." You know, it's anything, but don't do that. I think American actors are very wont to do that more often than not.
I've seen it.
Not all, but you know, some of the best performances.
Well, I don't know if it's
I was gonna say some of the best performances and things came from improv or an actor doing something differently. I'm not saying it's like a commonality, but it's definitely like consistently an approach what I've seen.
Well, that's what actors are actually supposed to do. You know, they're supposed to take a character and
filter it through,
bring it to life. Really, yeah, filter it through their experiences and kind of inhabit this character, but they can't do that if they aren't alive. You know what I mean?
Yes. That's the never-ending plight of voice actors as well. If you want me to give personality and vigor and to something that doesn't exist,
right?
Like, okay, I gotta convey all of this with my voice.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Do you want to do another one? We're kind of floating here, or do you want to croak the croak? I mean, we're floating. We could have been through half of one by now.
I think we should just call it a night for now. Unfortunately, it's rather late.
Cheeks. You've deprived us of action. Okay, that's fine. Do you want to fly back to the tower? Yes. Action deprived us of another night.
Yes. Okay.
I'm gonna boil me an Earl Greyer. My snout. Snort. Excuse me. Here we are witnessing it. The expert plague has hit. 28 bottles later.
The expert plague? Oh, are you sick?
I don't think so. I hope not. I don't feel sick. I don't feel lightheaded. I don't feel any headaches, no loss of appetite. I just, I keep sneezing.
Wow. Well, definitely, if you feel something coming on, you should take some, like, Vertec or something so that it won't.
Does that
you
lubricate
know, you can catch it now.
Does that lubricate your mucus passageways for maximum snout protection?
No.
I got some vapor rub.
Helps you fight off bacteria and
Who are you calling a bacteria?
Nobody. I'm saying if
I'm
you
nobody
take
to you.
Zyrtec or whatever. Okay.
I said okay. I got you. I think I've got some vapor rub kicking around here. Maybe I can stop by Dwayne Reed tomorrow. And I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Sometimes I'll be snorting one night, and then I think it was just a side effect of me being out in the cold. I got bit twice.
Bit by what? By the
cold? The first time was this morning because it was 44 with a wind chill, bringing it down to 30. And I thought I was fine, but my hands got kind of beaten up a bit. And then the second time was around 4 o'clock when I was biking back from the supermarket. I'm on Bergen Street riding with no hands. I can ride my bike. Anyway, and a huge gust of wind just came out of nowhere and nearly blew me off my bike. And then it started snowing. So, yeah. So somebody clearly used Blizzaga on me because there was a gust of wind and then it snowed. But I think getting smacked by that, I don't know, maybe that did a number on my sinuses. The air gets really dry before it's about to snow, so.
Yeah.
It's alright. It's alright, I'm alive. It's okay.
I'm glad.
And it's only what? It's only Wednesday, so I have plenty of time before the weekend to recover, rejuvenate, rehabilitate. You got any more rees?
Yeah, there's some.
You got any reverbs?
Refresh.
Thank you.
Reinvigorate.
I think I said that one. Reconstitute.
Reconstitute.
Rewind.
There you
What can I
go.
do for you, Titan?
It's a fantastic movie. What?
Be kind.
Yeah,
Rewind.
that movie is the reason we love movies. You never saw that movie with Mos Def and Jack Black?
Welcome back.
I did see that. Yeah.
Michelle Gondry. Love it. I love their version of Ghostbusters.
Good luck.
The fact that I still remember that is a testament to.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh man, that was like the best part. One of the best parts, yeah, because whatever, you know the story. But yeah, they redid Ghostbusters. That was funny. Die Hard was also another hoot. But all right, I think we covered some ground today. Hey, how did you like that exotic quest?
That was actually really cool. It was all about Shax and Saint and Osiris.
It was a
Saint 14 having an old man fight.
It was a bickering moment between three Vanguard boomers. That's what it was. It was literally the Vanguard version of the Odd Couple. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What? Osiris and Saint 14 sticking their tongues out at each other, and then Daddy Shax walks in like, Saint 14, is that you? And Saint 14's just like, you owe me money. And Shax is like, well, in my defense, you were dead. I'm like, wow. This Can I tune into this like every reset at 2 p.m. Pacific? And just are there more episodes of this podcast? Where do I subscribe?
And then Shaq sang. What the heck?
Yup. Mm-hmm.
Saint 14 was like, that was terrible. Like, what?
I mean, he gave us his rendition of the moon is made of cheese in all minor to the tune of the Shadowkeep theme. And it's made of cheese. Lord, I really hope the helmet stayed on for that. Let this not be the moment. Oh, but yep. Oh my goodness. I loved him greeting Shax by telling him how much he hates him. Like the T levels were
He's
off
like,
the
I
charts.
hate you.
The
Yeah.
T levels were just I was impressed. That was great. That's why I described it to a friend as like Destiny 2's Kvostov moment. You know, you go back to a kind of familiar place to bask in the lore, and then you end up in the middle of a story situation you never saw coming. Like the ghost's monologue about looking for you, or Osiris telling Saint 14 to make him shut up. Make me. I said, oh my goodness.
Nick.
About to hear.
You would not survive that.
The sad part is you believe him.
Where my uncle finds these things.
Oh no.
Also, can we take a second to appreciate character writing? Whoever's been working on the story since Forsaken, keep that man, hire that man, please. Full time, not part time, because the best thing about listening to these three characters interact is that they all speak differently. And it sounds like a weird thing to pop up there, but they really do all sound different. The way they say things, it's just really funny listening to Saint 14 say anything, because his turns of phrase are so unusually foreign. Unique, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my brain needs rest. All right. Yep. Your brain needs, okay.
His brain needs rest, not his bashing skull needs.
No. The skull is fine, okay? It's the brain that needs rest.
Yeah, dude.
Listen, you think it's easy getting birdseed in the wake of the collapse? You got another thing coming. But we will conclude today's expert playlist on a nice little spark of remembering Twilight Gap. Getting a cool ass exotic. How'd you like that exotic? Do you like shooting space lasers?
Pretty
from the
cool.
sidearm?
That is the most interesting thing about that gun, to be sure.
Do you think you will be using sidearms more as a result of this weapon?
Yes, definitely a sidearm season. There's like a sidearm renaissance right now.
I mean, I do like the sidearms. I really like the breach.
Yeah.
I really like the breach light. It's like a double tapping, really high capacity sidearm that I had a lot of fun with. I used it to unlock the buzzard,
We'll do the same
which
to
is the
whomever
Vanguard
comes
sidearm. They're really cool.
Oh, yes. I have to do a bunch of more jump kills.
That's probably
with
that's probably
sidearms.
the easiest part. Do that first, and then all you have to do is shoot things with a sidearm. But yeah, I used the Saint 14 one, and I had a blast. But yeah, definitely a sidearm renaissance. I love it. I love it. I like the risk reward with the laser. I like how damaging the regular bursts are. It just seems like it's a Swiss Army knife. I brought it into Crucible. I vaporized the Guardian with it from long range. It's scary. But on the next episode, we will be going to the Dreaming City. We will be donning out, giving our last batch of motes to the Guardians out there. And, as always, we might reflect on how the season of the Dawn has been treating us so far. What say you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm into that. It seems the dawning will be around until January 14th.
Yep, next week Tuesday. I thought it was this week. I got scared because I didn't get I hadn't gotten the Triumph yet for baking 50 gifts. That's what this emblem I'm using is.
Yeah.
Oh no, you have to do 50 dawning bounties. That's what it was. Like this season, you have to do 50.
Oh damn.
Well,
that's
it's
insane.
kind of insane, but keep in mind it travels. It doesn't matter what character you do it with. So you've got a pool.
Okay.
And Eva's 4 extra bounties are always just baking something and delivering it. So those are like easy 4 just on the table. It only took me like a day or 2 to do it, and that was only playing with the Titan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So if you still want to do it, you got time. But I'm done. Oh my goodness, we are the most engaging people in the collapse. With all the stuff we've said tonight, thank you for watching. And you know who to talk about them social medias before I prepare my breath for the great sayonara. Go hit him, dear. Hit him.
All right. Well, we've got we got some stuff on the YouTubes, on the Twitters, on the Instagrams,
especially on Instagram,
on the Facebooks. Yes. Definitely check out infernopenguins.com.
And keep an eye out for the channel change.
Crucible is chanting your name.
Probably sooner.
Coming up soon.
Yeah, very much sooner rather than later. As soon as we get it popping, you'll be the first to know. Be sad to leave the old digs, but we're ready. We're ready for the future. But with that having been said,
The future.
my good friends, I've been Expert Penguin. This is Her Infernal Majesty. Happy dawning and good night, ladies and gents.
Good night,
Guardians of all
everyone.
ages. Greetings, Guardian. What's up, Okay, I'm gonna stop stealing Destiny YouTubers' intros. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
What? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. How do you think I headbutt
You can
everything?
also get copyright struck.
Yo, if a YouTuber copyright strikes another YouTuber for using a catchphrase, we have truly entered the dark times of YouTube. There are like,
The end time.
no, seriously, there are like unwritten rules in the YouTube terms of service among the community, and one of them is that you do not false copyright strike people. That's like killing somebody's parents, or that's like shooting someone's dog in the YouTube community. False strikes? Your
Damn.
reputation cannot recover from that. Ask Mundane Matt. He didn't like that some people were criticizing his content, and he was secretly DMCAing their videos. And then,
Really?
when he was denying the claims, someone found out a way to check your claim history. And since it was a live stream, he was absolutely spooked. And then he tried to stall for time, but then it was too late. And then when they looked at his page, there were like 200 videos
Oh my god.
that he had copyright claimed or otherwise had shut down or taken down.
This war is a complicated
Yeah.
algorithm, to be certain.
Yeah.
Wait, someone found out a way to check your
Yeah,
your
okay.
history without you giving
No,
them
alright.
permission?
So there's a URL that YouTube takes you to when you're checking your pending claims. Say you file a claim, or you have claims pending against you. There's a whole section for that on the website. However, using a certain URL, you can look into your pending claims history almost as if it were a history list, like an aggregate. And that's what he did. When you paste the URL in your browser, it shows you your claim history. But they were live streaming, like on a Discord, so they could screen share.
You never know what.
So it was his desktop. When he pasted in the link, boom, his history came up, and there was there was a lot of stuff in there.
Oh. And it was a live stream, so
everybody
saw
saw it. The internet saw it. He had been lying about it for hours. Yeah. So no, I wouldn't worry about that.